By my clock, it's 6:01, so let's open the meeting. First item on our agenda are the minutes of October 14th. So, because I wasn't there, there's a lot to these minutes.
Yes, there is. We were busy.
Yeah, you were. I'd like to table this to our next meeting, so I have a chance to review them better than I could if I'm just sitting here.
Yep.
Is that all right with you?
Yep, fine with me.
Awesome. Next item on the agenda is the appointment of Jacob Conway as the WBC TV Studio Coordinator for the term October 28th, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. That's you? Awesome.
Motion? You want a motion? Are you still reading?
I'll accept the motion.
I'll make a motion to appoint Jacob Conway as the Cable TV Studio Coordinator.
I'll second the motion. Do we have any discussion? Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so, do you want me to stand or?
Stand, sit.
You can come be on
Come in
TV
frame.
so they can see who you are.
So I'm Jacob Conway, and yeah, I'm just excited to be doing this. I live in North Brookfield, so I'm not far away.
Nice.
And I graduated from Keene State with a film degree, so media is what I love, and I've been doing this type of work for like a year and a half, so I'm excited to do it closer to where I live, so it's gonna be fun.
That's great.
Fantastic. Have any question?
I don't.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
And if I may, I do have other documentation that I can give to finish the process, like my IDs and stuff too.
Right, so that you go to the town clerk's office
Oh, okay.
and fill out all the appropriate paperwork.
Yep.
And
Okay.
And
Yep.
Are you going to stay for the meeting?
I can.
See you.
Well, we can just finish it tonight, but that's fine. So then, yeah, I can stay for this.
Yeah, I'll just need a photocopy of some of your IDs.
Yeah, that's fine. I have everything kind of stuff.
All right. Next item on the agenda is continued discussion of this year's tree lighting on Town Common. And unfortunately, I was not there for this discussion 2 weeks ago. So I may ask some redundant questions.
And I wasn't here either. My two colleagues were here, but they're not here tonight. So.
And Diane, you're here on behalf of the
Common
Common Committee. And who's here on
I'm
behalf?
for White Christmas, but the rest of them aren't coming till 6:15.
Until 6:15.
Do you want to go down the other items that we have on the agenda and go
Yeah.
back?
Yep.
Okay.
So let's continue on to item 5 on our agenda. Potential need for special town meeting. Teresa?
So I'm thinking that we had a discussion about appraisals that had been done for the Route 9 project. We received their invoices, and there's no funding available for that. So the total, there's one for, the first round was like 14,500, and then we received the last one, which was for Welcome Road. And so you're looking at, about 19,000 that we would need to be able to pay them. And so there's that, but there's other items that should be considered. And that would be, we have a bridge repair coming up, and that will be entering they're submitting the 25% drawings mid-November, and it's at that point that the title searches and that type of work starts. And so we'll need money for the legal on that. It's the town council that would start that process for the titles, and this is for the ROWs, the right-of-ways. That bridge is the one on Long Hill Road, and that one had been approved maybe a couple of years ago for the fiscal 25 DOT, Mass DOT Bridge Repair Program. So now they're at that point. We had a conference call today, Beth and I, with Jim Daly and Ann Garwood and DOT to talk about that process. And so it would appear that we're going to need to be able to fund those. So Jim is going to be working on getting the estimates together, just an approximate, at least to have an idea of what we would need to go through that process before the end of the fiscal year. That's not the appraisals or that. This is just the upfront for the 25%. Also, we, as you're aware, we're approaching deficit in the legal line item on the fiscal 26 budget. There is plenty of work that requires legal for the remainder of the fiscal year. And just an example, and it's small potatoes really, but review of the warrants for annual town meeting, so on and so forth. There's a lot of work to be done, and we're going to need to put money into that. There's also the potential of some capital needs. I sent you the structural engineer's report letter that had some photographs attached, as well as a summary that was prepared by the architects. We had a call yesterday with the contractor and the architect involved. With the exterior, this had been just for the painting and some small repairs on the exterior of the building. And that's when it was noticed that there's some structural issues that will need to be repaired. And we have an exterior wall that's bowing. And then upon further assessment, there seems to be some trusses that are split. There's one that has no connection whatsoever. There appears to be a 6-inch gap, which for a building this size is worrisome. The report that was provided by the structural engineer has identified some of the items, but there's further assessment needed, which would mean, opening up the roof even further. And initially, when the contractor had noticed that the roof had some issues, the thought was, okay, well, can we stabilize it to get us through this winter, and get a quote on that. And then as further assessment has gone forward, the contractor yesterday had recommended that it's a full roof replacement. And by doing so, it will open it up to allow the structural engineer to do what they need to do to finalize the assessment and further repairs that will need to be done to this building. To just open it up and do the minimum, the Band-Aid, is going to cost you about 1/3 of what it would to do a full repair. So the numbers will be coming over. I hope to have a rough estimate come the end of this week to be able to provide to you. But so there's some things in the works here that we're going to have to figure out. There's a lot of moving pieces, and there's an urgency on safety because of potential snow load So when there's a project like that, it very well may qualify through DCAM as an emergency, where it would help us in the procurement process. So it would allow us to bypass some of the steps that take so long in securing and getting a contract in place. So it'll be.
I mean, this isn't going to be an expensive project, right? So where would we get the funding?
Well, that's the other part of it, is that we would have to look at, what do we have in stabilization? So that would require a special town meeting vote. If we were going to do a short-term loan, that still would require a special town meeting.
Does a short-term loan require a ballot?
I don't believe so. I think it's approval at a special town meeting. Well, I think it would. Well, now we'll discuss that.
You'd have to pay.
with the
It depends on
financial,
when you'd have.
because
Yeah, you'd have to, depending on when
it
you're going
may
to pay the
trigger-
interest
Yeah,
and how you're going to pay the interest out of what funds.
yeah.
Um,
So those are just the things, that we have immediate to start thinking about. So I just wanted to bring that forward and make sure that you guys are open to.
when were you thinking about a special town meeting?
Well, we have to solidify the numbers. That's going to take a little bit of time. I would say at the latest, maybe the beginning of December. So I think your posting requirement is longer for a special than it is for an annual. So instead of a 7 days posting, I think it's a 14-day. But we need numbers.
It'd be tough to get it done
I know.
early December, given it's
We're-
November 1st
Yep,
almost.
but we are really up against the clock. It would be tough.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, go ahead, Tanya.
I know I shouldn't come because I asked too many questions. What was the budget for the legal that was voted on? And
I
how
believe
mu-
it
and you're
was-
saying it's already in deficit.
Yes.
How much was it?
I believe it was put in for 60,000.
And how much are you in deficit?
We are approaching deficit.
Oh, you're approaching, okay, all right. Because
But we're not halfway yet. Yeah.
It's only October.
Correct.
We
Okay,
probably only have September's bills so far.
yeah, right.
Because we don't have October's bills yet.
Okay, just curious.
That's the
Okay.
first quarter.
Siri's talking to
David?
me.
Yeah, timing context on this. I know roofs fall down when roofs fall down, but I think we have more flexibility if we're moving into the next fiscal and capital planning and so forth. So I think we should be talking about how we bridge this potentially as well, right?
I don't know. I
I mean,
mean,
it's a prioritization question. We are going to have some capital to spend, and if this is the first priority, then put it in context. Obviously, if there are emergency or grants or anything else that would mitigate the town's share of that, we should be pursuing that immediately. But I think if we push it, we're going to find ourselves handcuffed in ways that if we push it out to next year.
but we don't want the building to fall down.
I understand.
So
Why is this the winter?
why is this the winter?
Yeah.
You know,
And do you risk it being condemned?
Well, that's the
well,
second
is the
question.
building safe to be occupied?
Exactly.
I mean, so
That's an engineering question. If they're coming back and saying that it must be done, then
The structural repairs must be implemented as soon as possible at a minimum. So the 2x4 cripple studs indicated in the repair details must be installed before the first snowfall of 2025 to ensure that the roof rafters are properly supported. The 2x4 cripple studs are required for all roof rafters that are supported by rotted perimeter. Until all the structural repairs are made, a barricade must be installed along the sides of the building at grade to prevent pedestrian access against the building. So I mean, they're going to be putting together estimates for full-on repair and for the structural. That's a separate. That would be a separate proposal. it's just a matter of, do you do the whole thing, or do you do a part of, keep your fingers crossed, and then finish it? So there's some
Sometimes you get
things
forced into
that,
less than optimal solutions. Where I'm coming from on this is if this is an or, you either do this or we're going to condemn the building, then yeah, we got to do the bare minimum at least to not condemn the building, in my view.
yeah, I
And
think
if,
it'll
if we're
be,
waiting until next fiscal gives us more flexibility to do it right, that's what
I
I'm
don't
trying to help
know.
you.
I don't know that waiting till next fiscal does give us more flexibility to do it right.
Well, safety is most important.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm asking. I mean, you can point at something and say, we think that's going to be a risk, or you can say it's a risk right now. That's all.
I think I think that there's further dialogue that will take place in the very, very near future. But I do think that, we have to keep our eyes open and understand also what would happen if there was a failure structurally, right?
Totally
And
get
all
it. I'm
operations are
I'm
closed.
not arguing 1 minute
So-
here on that. It's just all of a sudden we have an issue that we had last year and the year before and the year
Oh,
before
you've
that.
had water damage for years and years and years, but this is what happens when it's not addressed.
Yeah, we're paying for deferred maintenance on this
I
building.
understand.
And it's unfortunate, but it's what it is. So what do you need us to vote on?
Well, I don't know that we really need, just kind of giving you a heads up and
At our
that
next
you're
meeting, we might need to vote to have one.
correct.
And that will give you some more information over the next couple of weeks,
Yeah.
talking to the architect and the engineers,
Right.
what's going on.
All right.
I do have a question to that. Now, as these calls are being scheduled, I may want to reach out to board members to see if one of you is available for that day and time to sit in on this, on these conversations.
I would.
Okay.
All right. So I think White Christmas is here. The rest of White Christmas is here. So let's go back to the discussion on the tree lighting ceremony. Or just the tree lighting in general.
Can I ask, should I photocopy Jacob's information now so he doesn't have to stay for the meeting?
Sure. Yeah, we can pause for that.
Take your
I'm
photo.
available whenever you are.
You want to get Jeff in first?
Okay.
Since you were here 2 weeks ago, why don't you start us off? Because I have no idea what's going on. Well, I have a basic idea.
So we met October 14th, White Christmas, and some of the common committee people were here as well. Had a discussion about the issues with the tree, the lighting, and basically to sum it up, and correct me if I'm wrong, the lights that are there now have been left on the tree. Some of the issue is that the wiring is frayed. They weren't sure if they were working. We asked them if they would, after the meeting, the highway department had pulled the wire down so they could plug it in to see if they would do work. And they were very nice to send us a picture during the meeting that some of them were working, not full, but
That's
partial.
one side, but you can see the
Yeah.
strands, and then the back side is
Yeah.
done.
Okay.
Yep.
But this
So-
happens every year. Like Jimmy
Sure.
has to try to fix them.
Yeah. So in the past, Jim Rust has volunteered his time and his equipment and has put the lights, fixed the lights, replaced what he could. But he's also not able to keep up with doing it. So he's let him know that he couldn't do that any longer. So White Christmas Committee actually went out and got a quote from a vendor to have the lights installed.
Several vendors.
And and so the quote we have here is from one of them. To install the lights and take them down at the end of the season. And it came down to $6,900, almost $7,000 to do that. And that would be an annual cost going forward because it would be putting them up, taking them down, and maintaining the string of strings of lights.
We were only paying Jimmy $400 a year. So he was basically volunteering his time.
So we mentioned weren't sure if the lights were working. no one's budget has it, whether it's White Christmas, Common Committee, anything for the $7,000 to pay for that. And we're worried about the lights, whether we plug them in, if something's going to happen to the tree, knowing that if the wires are frayed. And we thought about whether it's really time to start using the small tree instead and put it to the voters at the annual town meeting of if they wanted to fund the $7,000 going forward to keep the big tree lit, then that would be voters wanting to do that. But no budget's got $7,000 to pay for that in the next 2 weeks, basically.
No, we definitely don't have the funds.
So that's where we left off of the status of what the lights were, the vendor, money, and what do we go for? Because it will be a change for the community.
It will. That's our biggest concern,
Yep.
is that we would
Yeah.
like to be uniform in this decision so that we can bear the brunt of the criticism as a whole, as a team, and not just have it fall on us.
Right.
That's fair.
Were the lights always left on the tree every year?
So when we took over the committee, Bob Rossman was very adamant in years prior to us that they would come down.
And so how long have they been
so-
left up?
2022 maybe, or
So
23.
they've been up for 3 years?
Yeah,
Okay.
Jimmy, that was one of the first things that he asked. He's like, I really don't want to take them
Oh,
down.
okay.
Can we just leave them up? So
Okay.
we left them up. And they were almost $2,000. I have the receipt. I paid for them.
2,000 to leave them up?
No,
No,
just
the
buy the
2,000.
lights.
Because they were brand new.
They were brand new.
They were brand new 3 years ago.
Yeah. So that's when we switched to like LED
Uh-huh.
lights. They're not like the glass ones because they used to put glass ones.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, the good news with LED is they don't generate any heat. So there's
Yeah.
Less much
really,
run, they last longer. So.
yeah,
Fire hazard's not as
that's great.
strong.
Yeah.
Except now that the wires are frayed.
Right. So then the gentleman that came out from that company had said that he was concerned about the look of the strands just because they had started green, now they're white. He's like, I don't know what's going to happen when you go to turn that thing on. He's like, but we don't know unless we pay money, essentially, to have them go look. So after we met with you guys, we called around to a couple other places to just find out, like, can someone go up there and look at the connections and see if maybe something got disconnected, and that's why there are so many strands on the so many strands out, completely out on the tree. So we did find somebody who has the equipment separate from these guys. He's $150 an hour, and he has to put mats down before he can go up in the lift. And each time he does that, he says it takes him about like 5 hours. So like, and he would have to do it 5 times. So like, it's already racking up.
Yeah.
And Jimmy spent, I think, like 2 or 3 days last year doing it.
So like, I'm gonna have to pay to have them, or we're gonna have to pay to have them taken off like all together.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know where to go from here.
I guess
Right.
150 sounds a little less than 7,000, but I think when you start adding
The
Right.
hours
Yeah.
times 150, you get
Yeah.
up there very quickly.
Yeah. So like, we don't know.
Right. And there's an issue with the tree also that it's,
No, we knew the tree was dying.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. But it's just such a big thing, and we keep it on all month, and
yeah,
it's a pretty tree, but it's also,
So my colleagues that were here must have reached out to John Bonin, and he said that he would hang the lights if they were provided for $400. I don't know about taking them down. I have no idea. But are you planning on buying new lights, or are you waiting to see how they're tested and these wires, etc.? You don't know.
We really haven't gone that far just because like we knew how expensive it was going to be to have someone string them, so we didn't even look into like what it would cost to buy new lights yet.
So on the
Place.
other hand, like, it seems completely frivolous to keep pumping money into something that sure, we can do it maybe this year and maybe next year, but eventually it's going to outgrow the bucket trucks altogether or come down from something else. So do we do the transition before something bad happens, or do we throw money at this thing and then try to get it in the budget and all the other things? Like, I guess I just don't know when to say is enough. So even, don't know.
How sick is the tree?
I've heard
No.
two totally different. Someone
Yeah.
said it's fine. Someone said it's not.
Well,
Like,
it's sick, but, you know, it's
It's still standing, but
Yeah.
if it's
Yeah.
sick,
Right.
it's not going to last
I remember
for a long time.
Louise Garwood. She's a horticulturist.
Mhm.
She was saying that species of trees, like it is abnormal for it to have lasted this long. That it is nearing its end of life.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, wow.
for that type of tree. Yeah.
Yep.
Which is, what prompted this conversation a couple years ago. Like, hey guys, you should really probably think about a replacement tree.
Any projection on useful life, if I may, because 5 to 10 years useful life would say invest in it, but got to come down in the next few years, maybe not. So it's
You just don't know.
Yeah.
One winter
If we-
storm can
Yeah,
do
get another microburst on
Yeah.
the common. Is it
Yeah.
coming down? Like, I don't
Understood,
know.
yeah.
I think it's a gamble either way.
I don't think there's anything rotting in it, though. I mean,
No, it doesn't look diseased.
So I mean, there's nothing imminent where the tree's falling.
It just looks mighty terrible with half the lights not being
Yeah.
functional.
I think you either have to get the lights restrung to
Right.
make them work
Either do it right,
right,
or
or
be done.
not have the large one and do an alternative. And that's what we had talked about last week also, or the last meeting was a different kind of tree that we had mentioned, but then it runs into, you put a pole in the middle, highway department have to put pole, string
Like a
lights.
flagpole tree.
Oh,
Yeah.
The lights
we were
on.
just
We were
brainstorming.
trying to come up with
Okay,
other
yeah.
ideas.
Because it is much cheaper
Right.
Oh,
all the way
yeah.
around,
Right.
and we wouldn't have to worry about it growing. So,
Because the other tree is small.
yeah.
Or even
Especially-
decorate other parts of the town or the
Right.
or the poles like Ware does. I mean, they have so many decorations.
So we've talked about that before.
For
So
years,
we don't
yeah.
have any lanterns to decorate with garland or lights. We've thought about getting flags for the American flag poles, like running a sponsorship with families could donate like $100 and get their name on a white Christmas flag going down the common. We don't have any electricity on all the other trees around the common, so you can't plug in lights there. We do solar lights in the front because there's no outlet in the front. There's an outlet on the side. But every time a car drives by the solar, it shuts on and off. And so I would go for a walk and put them up, and then 2 days later, someone would put them the other way, and they'd be flashing again every time the headlight. So it's just kind of like, ugh. I hear what you're saying. Like,
Right.
we did a survey a few years ago, asking the community like what they would like to see. It's kind of like everything that they wanted to see. We can't do it unless we
Right.
start
Right.
electrical boxes by every tree, and
Yeah.
And
It's
having
just-
the highway department put up the things, and we've even looked into one of the like over the road hanging things as like a big thing to look forward to, but we would have to have somebody else, like so many other people involved in it. It just seems like a
highway department.
right.
We're just a wee
Yeah.
little. Like,
I remember I
business.
talked to Jim Daly, and he was like, when we were doing the sidewalks down here, I told the Board of Selectmen we should put
Dropping
lanterns
outlets.
up. It would be pretty. So he was like, it wasn't my fault. Don't blame it on me. I recommended, but they chose not to do it.
So that's our dilemma. That's where we left
So
off
that's
2
our
weeks ago
dilemma.
without information that we've received more information about where we now stand with the lights that are there.
So the question is, what do we do this coming
Right.
holiday season?
Yeah.
Well, it's coming
5
right
weeks.
upon us. So we have to do something.
Right.
And whether the decision is to not light the tree and spend any money doing anything because we don't have the means to do it this year is really the decision, because that's what the group was saying is everybody in town will be wondering why. And
I would hate to not light the tree.
right.
Right.
Even, I mean, if I recall last year, I don't think all the lights were lit either.
Oh, no, they were.
Really?
We-
There were
spent
more
days
than
on
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim was there for 2 days. He hired outside people to come and help.
Oh,
He had to
wow.
pay some
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
To do.
We're trying.
No, I
tried
know.
for years.
No, I know. And it's difficult to
Mm-hmm. It would
put
be
it mildly.
yeah, and it would be a big change, but we're sort of also, what alternatives do we have? We could turn the
Can
lights
we
on.
light
It's
up
going
the
to be
town
partial.
hall or something?
It depends if the
Before
roof
it
is still
falls
there.
down.
Yeah, the roof is still there.
Can I ask, would the Common Committee be interested in overseeing John doing it? I have my reservations just because John's never done the lights before, and it could turn into like a bigger issue. You know what I
I
mean?
would
With-
have to ask the
with the
board.
novice person doing it, we
I don't
really
know what his, I would have to ask the
have
board.
had such a headache with this over the years that like having a newbie come and do it, and it just sounds like a headache to me.
This is the Bone-In that owns Bone-In down
Yes.
at the end of the street.
Because I think collectively, group, if please correct me if I'm wrong, like if John had said something a while ago, I don't think we're interested in kind of overseeing it. If John graciously,
No,
Donates
if your
his time.
colleagues have that connection.
yeah,
Right.
where-
With the $400.
Yeah, I don't know if they have any experience either.
Right, and they can
Yeah.
deal with that gentleman.
What are your thoughts?
Well, we definitely don't have $7,000 to relight the tree this year.
Nope.
So it's either we all stand together and say we're going to light the small tree, unless there's some other way we can come up with something.
How much is it going to cost to light the small tree? It still has to be strong.
Small tree even strong enough to hold any light?
Like the
Well, not as many
like
as you have on-
How big is a small tree?
we have
Am I bigger than the small tree?
Yes.
Yes, you're bigger than the small tree. Hold on.
Tree you put in your house.
Yes.
It's not a Charlie Brown tree, is
No, it's
it?
like a house.
No, so it's just not very, like from here up, there's not much
Yeah.
to work with.
Yeah, and it was put up to start growing for when
Right.
the big
Right.
tree comes
Right.
in. It wasn't put up to be decorated.
Understood.
Yeah, I don't know that the answer is lighting the small tree.
Okay.
I mean, is it close enough to an outlet to light it?
Is what?
Is it close enough to an
No,
outlet
there's
to light
nothing
it?
there yet.
Yeah, well,
But you would
there's
have to
not
run it.
You would run the electrical cord.
Yeah.
But then you also, we have people that play with the cords all year long.
And then
so.
it's coming just straight down onto the thing.
So we could light the small tree. I'm sure someone would be happy to donate the lights.
Do you want
For
me
it.
to not ask John? Or
I think
is that
if-
what you're saying? You
if
don't want
you're-
me to ask him?
If your committee is okay with overseeing him, I think we probably aren't in any
I
place
mean,
to
I
say
can ask
no,
Bob.
right?
I mean, it's up to you if you want him to try it. Yeah. He's offering his services, so I don't. I can check with them.
I've just been out there at 8 a.m. in the morning with Rachel up here and stuff, and late at night, and we've had issues. I think we are.
And highway really can't help.
Mm-mm.
No.
No, they're short.
How many more lights do you need? The cost of them.
We don't even know how
Don't
many
even
more lights we need, but we probably have it in our budget to replace the strands. But we would have to order those immediately. They come from 1-800 bulbs or something, so they'll probably not get here super quick like an Amazon order.
No.
800 bulbs used to be in Worcester, but not anymore.
1-8. They're from the
My friend
Midwest,
worked
I
for them
think,
for
right?
years.
I think and they come in like a green spool, and my husband had to put the male and female ends and cut them, and we had to put all the lights in. It's
Some assembly required.
Yeah, it's like a partial. Yeah.
So those are pretty much our options that we have.
None of them good.
none of them
None of them are
great.
ideal.
No.
Or we'll leave it lit the way it is, and people will wonder why it's only half lit.
They won't just wonder. They will be talking about it on the Facebooks.
But that's the reality of what's
I know,
going on.
I know.
Is really
Yes, David?
I think like anything else, it requires some messaging. You don't just throw it out there and leave people to wonder. The town has some financial struggles right now, and I think that needs to be apparent.
Oh,
I don't want
yes.
to get on my soapbox about 2.5, but at some point people are going to realize there just isn't enough year after year. We can't do everything that we're doing, which leads me to part B. Private funding for these things too quick for this year, but as we go forward, it may be, and we're doing this with the link, that's a topic coming up in a few minutes, looking for the private funding to go along with what's available in public funding.
Well, that's honestly all of our entire day
Yeah.
is donations for people from the vendor fair and our ad booklet. Like, we're not funded by the town at all. We're not on
And
budget.
we got a sponsor for the horses because
Right.
the cost of the horses went from nothing to $1,000.
No, I totally get it.
Yeah,
but
so
until the
like-
townsfolk
yeah.
see diminished capabilities, or however you want to put it,
Yeah.
the pain is not going to be palpable for people. So I guess where I'm going is light the small tree with a message that this is all we can do for now, and in the future we hope to do more, but we need the resources to do it.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
and that was my suggestion, trying to figure out what we could do at the last meeting was possibly lighting the small tree and bringing it to town meeting. That is going to
Yeah,
cost
it'll
$7,000 for the
definitely
large
get some
tree
attention.
to relight it every year. So if that's what they wanted to do, they had that option.
Yeah, like even if we went like the private sector fund, like that's so unknown from year to year. It's
Yeah.
not a promised amount of money that these people are going to donate. So
Right.
I don't feel comfortable, like if
And
we
it's
were going
every
to try
year.
to rely on donations for that, it would make me a little bit more comfortable. It was worked into like the budget, so you knew that that was going to be there.
Totally agree. We're facing the same thing
Yeah.
with the lake, and that's just
Yeah.
going to be across the whole town.
Yeah.
So,
And even if it's a combination of both, but
Yeah.
it's shared, but
Right.
people have some say about it.
Right.
They want to pay for it, and they want to have it.
Do you want to make a motion to light the small tree? Anybody else have anything else? Any other comments on the issue?
I would just be concerned that lighting the small tree might compromise the tree's health itself. It's just
I
not
know,
that
I
big
was
yet,
thinking the
but
same thing.
it might be too
It
much
was
wind
just
on
put
it.
up in June.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's-
And I don't want
it
anything
hasn't
messing with
established
it.
roots yet.
Okay, fair enough.
No,
Before we make that decision, should we have, I don't know, like Jim Daly, the tree warden, or like Louise look at it to see what she thinks about putting the twinkle light? We could get small lights, not the big bulbs.
Right.
well, I'm thinking
No,
the
I
small
can
lights,
ask
just like
John
you would put
Arella,
at
too. He's
your
the one
house
that
at
provided
the
the
outdoor
tree
ones,
and
the
actually
lightweight,
put it in
not
too.
big commercial
Yeah.
ones.
He knows his trees too, so.
All right,
Ask him.
yeah, and then we can come back in 2 weeks, I guess.
Well, we got to do something
Fast.
going forward. Well, that's but it sounds like
Well, going
we're
forward,
not
we can address it at the
right. It
annual
doesn't
town
sound like
meeting.
we're going to be,
We don't
needing
have
to
the-
hire a contractor and where we're going to get the money from this year.
Yeah, we don't have the funds for it this year.
We either turn on the big tree with the lights that we have.
Yep.
We light the small tree, maybe both, and that's what we
But
can
as
do.
I understand it, we're not gonna go up and test those lights then.
It costs far too much money just to get up there.
Yeah, just to
Costs us
test the
thousands
lights.
just
Are
to-
they gonna come down then at some point, or?
We don't currently have
another
the
thing.
means of
Yeah, okay,
taking them down.
yeah, okay, yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, okay.
as long as they're not plugged in, that's not a priority.
Right.
Let them come down with the tree.
Right.
Yeah,
Can we look for any other volunteers to help with the lights?
So like that's like another thing, like
Yeah,
with
bone.
John, like what are we getting ourselves into? Like, they've never hung some of these professionals, right? Arsenal's and Sons, that's the
He was-
people that
Yeah.
they do this for a living. They were like, this is the biggest tree I've ever done.
He's like, I've been doing this for 25 years, and that is the largest tree. And not only like for height wise, he goes, my bucket can make it. He's like, but it is so round. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big tree.
yes,
Yeah.
it's not.
I can promise you, no one else is having big trees like this done. He's like, you guys might want to start thinking about an alternative. And I was like, yeah, we're
and
there.
Jimmy's been doing this for what, like 20 years?
18 years.
And he has a hard time with it every year, trying to get the strands to look halfway.
And he's done it
decent.
every year, so he knows.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So that's like my only reservation with like reaching out and having someone be like, "Hey, you want to donate? What is the end product?
Right,
gonna
what are we
be?"
getting?
And they might think they're going to until they start doing it and
Right.
find out it's
And
another
then now
situation.
maybe
And then
I
it's
don't
half
know.
done.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think we end up either just plugging in the trees, the lights on the trees that are there now, and see about the viability of lighting the small tree just with regular
Right,
Small.
yeah, let me find out, yeah,
exterior,
yeah. Because those big
non-commercial.
bulbs and the big, yeah, might not work.
Yeah,
No.
No, we
Yeah.
don't want to. We
Yeah.
don't want to damage it at all.
Yeah.
It's not hurt.
Okay. Can you come back in 2 weeks, Dan?
Yeah, I can come back.
Okay.
Is it that Veterans Day though?
Oh, no, yeah, we can't have a meeting that
We're
day.
doing it on the 10th.
Monday.
We're doing it on Monday
Monday,
instead.
okay.
We're doing it Monday before. All right. So let's
Okay.
do that.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
guys.
Have a great night.
Good luck, guys. Hope it all works out.
Next item on our agenda is a hiking sign.
Oh, yes.
Is it Pinchin?
Yeah, Pinchin's Grist Mill.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure. Are you familiar with it?
Not really, unfortunately. You are?
Yes. It's probably one of the gems of West Brookfield. The East Quabbin Land Trust has many properties, 20-some properties. Started with 40-some acres, it's 70-some acres, and got together with DCR, and they allowed us to put blazes up throughout the West Brookfield State Forest to make a whole combination of 150-some acres of hiking area.
Oh, excellent.
We have myself and several others that are stewards. I'm the lead steward there. We have 3 complete looped trails in the property itself. And last year we had Ethan Salvador put in 26 stairs up one of the steep areas for his Eagle Scout project.
Oh, wow.
We have old Gilbert homestead there, and many of you that have grown up in this area, some would say, "Oh, Doc Bill's." And
I've been there a few times in high school.
yeah. Anyway, but is it the history, especially if you look at the West Brookfield history book that is out and on, you can see some of the history of it. But it's also the start of King Philip's War. And if you go there at the pond area itself and stand, there's a crossing. It's 2 white hewn white pine logs across the brook. And if you're looking at the dam, you'll see the old grist mill. And that thing is there since 1669. And it was destroyed in 1675. Anyway, so getting back to the kiosk. Let's get to the kiosk. There's a kiosk there. When I first moved back here, retired teacher from Quabog, we settled here in December 2020. And oh, look at that. I'm an avid hiker. And so I said, wow, where's that trail? It's very deceptive. I'm looking behind the kiosk, trying to find where the trail begins, so on and so forth. Well, did figure it out, and we have since now we've got maps all throughout now. There's 8 postings of maps all throughout the properties now. You were here, so on and so forth. But just even to get into the property. So if you're at the kiosk is right
Is this
across
the
the
photo?
street. Yeah, you can see that right here.
What
and
street
then
is this?
this is Wickabog Valley.
Okay.
So you're going towards the lake, going this
Right,
way.
Yeah, I'm sitting here.
The bridge.
Yeah, right before Snow Road.
And so as you're coming down, so you're looking at this and you're parking along on, where the sign is at on this side of the street, but you got to cross the street, go back down and cross over the bridge.
The entrance is over here?
Yes, and there's a right-of-way. And the problem with that is we do have blazes. If you're familiar with blazes are markers. We have blue markers that are along on the utility poles. The person who owns the land we had 2, when you have a directional as a hiker, if you have 2 markers going to the left or the right, says that you got to go to the left or the right?
Mm-hmm.
The person who owned it took those off. He could. It's their property. Fine.
Do you mind if I ask who owns that property?
Is it Nathan's?
Yeah.
It's Barry.
Yeah. Anyway, but I don't want to go there.
No.
Do what you want to do, and but just even when you're at the kiosk, just to cross the street again, it's deceptive. And if you turn the page, I think you have maybe I don't know. Did you get a copy of the signs?
Yes.
Yeah, the signs are here.
So what we're looking at is there's a couple of signs, but one in particular that just says trail, and there's a diagonal. That one right there. Putting a sign like that, just like past east of where the kiosk is, still on the property where you could talk to Jim Daly. Said he would, and he knows that area well enough, and said he would put the sign in if we bought the signs because they don't have those in the inventory. It would show whoever comes up there. And I've talked to people oh, where are you from? And they were from the part of the southwestern part of the state. They said they had heard about this and wow, that's pretty cool. And anyway, it would tell them you got to cross the street. And so I think that would help getting the people to cross the street so there isn't any question. But we've done a tremendous amount of work in that whole area. Like I said, three loops into that, and the maintenance to keep those trails. You go in there and it's an hour and a half, 2 hours in doing the loops.
Oh, I'm sure.
And so
It's very nice. It's been a lot of work. Yeah.
it has been a lot of work. I'm not getting
My
any
dog
younger.
loves that pond.
Oh yeah. So the beavers, boy, oh my, oh
Yeah,
my.
she likes to.
So where would this multi-use trail sign go?
I just had that one up there as a type of sign because we do a lot of horseback riding. So watch where you step because you might have some, horse, whatever. But also mountain bikers, and so we have 3 horseback, mountain bikers, and hikers. So, but what I'm only looking for is just to put the trail sign with the arrow because I think it is more directional in the sense of giving the person who is going to go on trail for whatever reason that they have to cross the street. And that's it. And Jim Daly is aware of it, and he said he'd be happy. I don't know, happy, but he said
He would do it.
He would do it.
If he volunteered, he'll
Yeah.
do it. Yeah.
As happy as Jim gets, yeah.
Yeah. But if you haven't been out there, I want to tell you something.
I should go. It's right around the corner from my house.
You did call me up and contact, and my contact information. Beth has my contact information, and I will take you back there, and we'll go back there. And it really is phenomenal. And right now, we just had a grant that was turned down because East Quabbin Land Trust was looking for a $100,000 grant.
Beautiful.
Which is a sizable amount of money, and they're still pursuing to get it regraded and the stone laid down to make it ADA accessible. And then also there's a culvert area there that is absolutely destroyed and is falling apart, and that's part of your water system coming in there. And that's
I
yeah.
know it.
And Nathan, he did pull up with his tractors because he's got a horse paddy up in there. So he put these huge beams on the outflow side of it, and it's like, oh, why did you do that? Anyway, but we're trying to replace that whole culvert area, and so that's part of the $100,000. Then also on the west side of the brook, going north towards the pond, then also grading that so ADA accessible, that you could take wheelchair. It would be wheelchair accessible, and that is the goal. So it could be enjoyed by all, at least up to that point, and then all the other various trails that are there. But we just want some signage, one sign to say this is the way you go.
Are you working with our Conservation Commission on the ADA
yeah, we did a
improvements?
little before. I talked to like Paul Lucier and had a couple of the others. I don't know, was it last year or so? We were looking at the culvert, and then Brian Waz came out there just also for his expertise and what he knows. And so then at that time, because we were looking for funding and how best to fund it, so we've already been turned down on the one grant. And Cynthia Henshaw, who is the director of the East Quabbin Land Trust Union,
I sure do. She's great. That's right.
That's right. And so we're hoping, in these times right now, because there's such an influx of, federal monies or any kind of monies coming in and where it's going, it's hard to tell right now. But we have some other ideas and other things, and we've been, if anyone's walked the rail trail up in Rail from Glenville Park. And then now it's going to be all attached to, it's like a couple miles and going through New Braintree and to Wheelwright. It's just phenomenal how much of the rail trail that has been done. I don't know if you've been on it.
I haven't been on it as of late, but I was working out there at the time that the planning and
when it was
all of that.
done,
so
yeah, it was putting the
it was very exciting.
and working on that and going out there. So. But it's just the green spaces and keeping that as part of our community. It's what makes our community. It's a gem. So if you haven't been in there, it's.
Yeah.
I'm just going to show you one picture I took yesterday, just to show you, and just to get you an idea, because it is. This was looking at the pond yesterday.
Oh, very nice.
Ready?
And, I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I will post it on the West Brookfield site because I'm always constantly posting on, when I get out there and when I remember.
Make a motion to approve the placement of a hiking sign at the Pinch and Grist Mill kiosk area.
Before you do it, East Quabbin Land Trust is paying for the sign, and Jim says he has the post.
Okay.
I'll second the motion. They're all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
You got your sign.
All right.
And thank you for everything you do up there.
Oh, thank you very much.
It's very nice.
See you in 2 weeks.
See you later.
For 13 days, right?
What's that?
13 days.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, next item on the agenda, Dave Brown Lake Wickabog Preservation Association Lake Donor Account discussion.
So this is a discussion. It's not a presentation. I don't know whether we want to wind back to the beginning or go through it or talk about where we're at now, Roland. You've been involved in this over the course of probably a year and a half or more. We have the donor account, for those that are not aware. It was set up back in the dredge days for basically the feasibility, engineering, design, et cetera. It was never intended to be for the whole dredge. And that's been expended except for about $18,000. When it was set up initially, it was not specifically for dredge. It was set up for Lake Wickabog water quality and associated initiatives. So right now, we're still sitting on over 18,000 there. We have general agreement that that's usable for the lake, what I'll call deficit, with the recent influx of fanwort and the work that we have to do to eradicate that, as well as the ongoing needs of the lake. That'll come in handy. I don't think there's any issue about using that. We have to figure out the mechanics of how we actually apply that money. Is that something that the Board of Health gets an invoice, sends to accounting, and Donna can pull it out of that account versus pull it out of the lake account? But we can work through those mechanics. I don't think there's any issue that money can be spent for that purpose. But the bigger issue is keeping it open, I would say, in perpetuity or indefinitely. These accounts come under, and I think I confused the discussion in emails by calling it 501c3. It's actually Chapter 44, 53A, and it's not 501c3, it's actually 701c1 under IRS code, but it's still a deductible account. As I understand it, that account can be available for donations. I believe they come to the town of West Brookfield, they get deposited to that account, and it's made available for the purposes that we're talking about here. But again, we have to work through the mechanics of how that will work. What we need to nail down is, are we all agreed that it's usable for that purpose? Can we open that up for public donation, or private donations, I should say, to the town for the purpose of the lake? And how would that work? Right now, we have donors. We actually have match donors. Somebody's come forward and said, I'll donate $5,000 toward a match. So we have potentially $10,000 we could put into that in the next few months or as soon as we want to turn that on. But we need this nailed down so we know how that works and can ensure people that, yes, indeed, it will be tax deductible. It will be transparent and all of those things. So without Donna in the discussion, I don't know how we can close this, Roland. But
well, I mean, I can't speak to as to whether or not it's tax deductible because that was the whole.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it will be.
I did the same thing with the school. So the town can obtain a letter from the IRS.
Right. Yeah.
That gives you the tax deductibility for any funds that come to the town of West Brookfield for those purposes that aren't fees, taxes, or anything else. It's a donation.
Yes.
And that way then you can provide that letter to any donor.
Exactly.
So they can use that for tax deduction purposes.
So we may have had that in the past, but let's refresh that.
And I'm fairly certain that I had nailed Donna down on how to get money into the account, on who they have to make the check to and everything else.
Okay.
And I thought, if I sent it to, I'm pretty sure I sent it to Mary Beth.
I have not seen. I think I've seen, but I can't find it because I was not on the distribution. But yeah.
So let me. I don't have my laptop with me, but when probably tomorrow morning,
I trust you.
I'll get you the email. I'll forward it to you
All right, great.
about how, because I remember going back and forth a lot with Donna on this one. So it should be pretty straightforward.
Okay, so I'll come back with some assumptions. Just full disclosure, I talked with our former treasurer today, and he said the same thing Cammy's saying about getting the letter, having the letter available for donors so that they have the cover for tax deductibility. And one other thing, we should really create a policy around this if we don't have one, so we understand what the account is for and how this all works. And I can help drafting that if necessary.
It's usually pretty much governed by law.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't. Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I know about money going in. Maybe discussions that happen, but it probably needs to have a clear procedure as far as money going out.
Exactly.
Who needs to sign off on it? Who's making the commitment ahead of time before an invoice shows up from a vendor with a promise to pay, and then we have some technical difficulties actually paying the bill? I think it makes sense to have everybody on the same page of these are the 5 steps to get a bill paid from that fund.
Yeah, because we can't commit to somebody to do work and then in the back
Correct.
end struggle to find a way.
I agree.
Yeah.
What was the chapter and section again? You said
It's chapter 44 on
50,
MGL. Chapter
53.
44, 53A.
53A.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's pretty clear in terms of how this all works.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be, there's no ambiguities there.
Yeah, and it's really procedural
Yeah.
here.
But this isn't like the association, this is
No,
the committee,
town.
right?
No, this is the
Because
town of
on
Brookfield,
the,
yeah.
on the thing here, it says David Brown, Lake Wickabog Preservation Association.
Yeah, you're
But
gonna
you're
take
talking about a
LWPA out
separate,
of it,
because we
David
couldn't
Brown
do it
out
for
of
the
Exactly, yeah.
association, okay.
Separately, and not to confuse
Because
this,
that
the Lake
was-
Association is working on a 501c3 designation.
And that's separate
Totally separate, yeah.
from
Yeah,
town,
yeah,
so
yeah.
Yeah.
we just want to make note for the record that it's not part of the, we're not talking about Lake Wickabog Preservation Association.
And that gets
Lake
clouded,
donor
and I don't know
account.
how we can segregate, separate, make that clear, but I know Donna has been confused since the day she got here in terms of what LWPA does versus what the town does. This is not LWPA, this is LWPA advocating on behalf of the lake, asking the town to do X, Y, and Z.
But isn't there a committee?
There is a
Town
lake committee.
committee, and
Yeah,
that's
we formed a
how-
lake committee. We formed a lake committee
You formed the lake
3 years
committee,
ago.
so I want to talk to you about that, but at a different time in terms of governance for the lake. That was set up to provide indemnification from liability for the folks that are actually doing things
Right.
on the lake. It's not a lake management committee in terms of how we do what we do and all of that. We might want to think about role, and I want to take this maybe offline, but think
Yeah.
about how that could be expanded. But right now, that's not the committee to do this.
So I guess if it's not the committee's donor account, whose account is it?
Board of Health.
It's Board of
I
Health.
believe right now.
Yeah, it's the Board of Health.
Okay, so it's Board of Health Lake
The Board of Health
donor
oversees the
account.
funds.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Board of Health oversees the funds for the lake.
Okay.
But that could be moved too. Didn't you say they should be moved to another department?
All right, again, full disclosure on YouTube tomorrow, but we are looking to see if potentially is Board of Health the place that we want this to be. Concom might be another place to put it, or an expanded lake committee, management committee might be a better idea, but it's premature to go there. Right now, I think we want to leave it as Board of Health, get this thing going so we don't create any confusion as we're trying to start up this donation process. I honestly think, and I'm going to push for a widened lake committee, but this is not the committee that's going to do the things that we need to get done.
All right.
One other thing I think you need to note, or somebody needs to note, I think it's the select board, from Board of Health saying we approve the continuation of this account for the intended purposes or some such.
They usually meet the same night we do, don't they? Board of Health?
They're meeting downstairs. I
Yeah,
didn't stop
they're
in, so
meeting
something-
downstairs?
Yeah. So we can have, so it should be easy enough to get.
Yeah.
get
I talked to
someone
them
in
about
here.
doing that 2 weeks ago. I was there, so they are aware and prepared. There's no opposition there. But we're hoping to set a model here, not just for the lake, but for other things. But I think in perpetuity for the lake is a reasonable and viable way to do public and private funding to get the things done that we need to get done in this town.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, yeah, you didn't need us to take any action or anything tonight?
I don't
This is just,
think so, other than I'll do it either way. Either Donna can tell us, or I can put something to you and to Donna in terms of my assumptions on how this is going to work. But I think we need to know about how this is going to work with no ambiguities.
I would think Donna needs to start with basically the law that she's operating under for that account to come up with.
I'll CC you the
Yeah.
whole email
Yeah.
chain. It's very,
Nail that down, because we did get one thing from her earlier that she wanted to run that down to 0 and close it, which is the opposite of what we want to do.
yeah, there's no reason to close that account. It's a donations account, it's there.
Yeah,
Let's use it.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
She's maybe just seen it be dormant for a while with no activity going in or out.
That's right.
Probably
She's-
was prompting her
exactly,
to.
yeah.
Yeah.
And with all due respect, I like Donna, but she takes in our perspectives. Perhaps she should, and I just want to expand that to make sure that we're on the same page. We understand.
She follows the letter of the law.
Yeah.
Very black and white. You said it's a 501, whatever.
Yeah.
That's what she's going with.
I know.
She doesn't say, oh, you meant to say.
Yeah, no, I
So,
understand.
and that's
Again,
fine.
no knock on Donna. I like
Yeah.
Donna.
No,
Okay.
she's doing her job.
Yeah,
Yep.
great. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Let me know if I need to.
Yep, thanks, David. I'll get you that email tomorrow.
Hang on. Good night.
Good night.
Next item is the building inspector. That would be you. Zoning enforcement officer hours changed. What's expected?
Nick's not here tonight. He's on the West Coast, so I'm in here in his presence,
Okay.
and lack of his presence, I should say. Roland, we've discussed this in the past.
Sure.
That office was never open 2.5 hours. This all came after the COVID scare. And Diane, who was just sitting right here, asked for that extra 30 minutes because we changed the hours from 4 to 6 instead of 6 to 8. 6 to 8, everybody complained about it. Builders wanted to go home. Homeowners didn't want to come in between 6 and 8. So we polled everybody that came and said, what would you like for hours? So they picked 4 to 6. So we actually applied for the 4 to 6. And during that meeting with the selectmen, Diane said, would you guys stay an extra 30 minutes? Maybe because the selectmen might need you or something. So Gary and I both said, yeah, sure. Because I figured that now, if we say no, you're not going to let us change our hours. So that's how it went to 6:30.
Okay.
It was never 2.5 hours since the inception of that department. It's always been 2 hours. So we'd like to change it. Nick and I want to go back to the 4 to 6.
Yeah.
Because we're sitting there for 30 minutes like this. There's no customers after 6 o'clock.
Nobody comes in after 6.
Right. There's nobody there.
How many days a week is that?
What's that?
How many days a week? Is it 4 to 6?
Just Tuesday.
Just Tuesday?
Every Tuesday night from 4 to 6 p.m.
Okay.
Nick wanted to actually do something else too, but I am not going to bring that up. Because we're in Brookfield. We both cover Brookfield too.
Yeah.
And we're there the first and third Wednesday of the month from 4 to 6. And he wanted to maybe do the same thing here. And I said, I'm not going to ask for that.
Oh,
It's
to
going
make
to
it
be
a
hard
Wednesday
to get
instead
to
of a
the 4 to
Tuesday?
6, never mind first and third Tuesday. Even though it works in Brookfield.
Yeah.
This isn't Brookfield. I mean, we turned over almost $80,000 this past year, the fiscal year, in our department for building permit fees. We've done quite a bit. It's still a busy department, but 4 to 6 is more than enough time for people to come in and get a permit. 4 to 6:30 is a waste of our time. Teresa knows. She sits in that office across the hall.
Because I do tend to stay a lot late.
Yeah.
And so I will notice at 4 o'clock, and Beth probably notices when she's leaving, that at 4 o'clock, the chairs start to be filled in the
line out
hallway.
the door.
Yeah. And then, as a matter of fact, when I was coming up, shortly right after Beth had come up, there was nobody out there waiting.
One night for the Board of Health. That was it.
Yeah, and so that's what I see all the time. That there's nobody there. Like 6 o'clock, there's nobody sitting there waiting.
Right.
They know they're sitting in there going.
They're just waiting to go home.
Okay.
It's a waste of time to be there at 6:30.
All right.
So
I mean, I'm in that office from between 1:30 and 2 o'clock every Tuesday.
Okay.
Sometimes during the week.
Yeah.
Not even on a Tuesday.
Yeah, no, I know.
I get
I've
work
seen you in
done.
there. Yep.
You know, I got stuff I have to do outside of normal hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I do it where I work at home. I mean, that's where I'm going with all this. Home. So I can enter it in my Excels at home and take care of a couple of the certificates for a farm that has kids. It's a school out on Wigwam Road.
Oh,
A farming and a forestry school. And I've got to change their certificate for the occupancy of the buildings. So that's what I do. I mean, I take all this home.
yeah, no, I know.
Because I have your old computer that I'd rather throw them in the dumpster.
My old computer?
I believe it's yours, right, Beth?
Just an old select board one, yeah.
It was a
there.
Chromebooks, piece of junk.
Oh, that, yeah.
Well, and where did we, I never approved the purchase of Chromebooks. Never in a million years would I
It was
approve
a
They couldn't even use it.
of a Chromebook.
Ellen Moore's.
I had problems with it, and Beth came in, and the whole thing went away. So now we've got another one we're working on.
Yeah.
So that I can, I had a stroke 3 years ago, and my
I
brain
know.
never came back that great. And for me to keep issuing permits with my handwriting is an embarrassment to me. And it takes a lot longer to do it than it does with I have a printable form in Brookfield. Our IT guy did it for me. And I just print them out. I make a mistake, I correct them. Print them, and boom, they're gone.
Can you get a copy of the form for us to use here too?
What's that?
Can you get a copy of the form for us to use too? Will your
I have
You
it,
have?
but I'm not going to tell you who gave it to me.
Okay.
He was here for a while. And he said, "If I'll let you take it, Jeff, to West Brookfield, but don't you put it on your
Jacob.
computer." Yes.
Yeah.
He did my computers at home too for me.
I don't have any problems with them changing their hours.
I don't. The only question I had is if the selectmen were asking before to stay to 6:30 in case the selectmen need.
You know why?
I don't
Because
know.
the meeting room was downstairs, right across the.
Oh, so if they needed to ask a question,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but we can always follow up and at our next meeting.
I don't
get
recall ever
information.
having to go ask you guys.
That's why I was asking.
I've
That's why I
never
was
been
saying.
called to a selectmen's meeting, since they enacted those hours.
And I
Yeah.
can't imagine the situation where we need information that night where we couldn't say by our next meeting, could we get the information and bring it back so we have an
Roland
answer.
said that, and I agree with that. If there's something that's necessary from either zoning or building, we could answer that in the next week,
Oh, yeah.
easily,
Yeah, you guys are responsive,
Yeah.
for sure.
very much so.
I don't see any issue with that. That's the only question I have when you mentioned that with Diane.
And we'll have to change the web.
Yep.
And I'll change, the postings on my door, so we have the correct hours,
Yep.
for that. We won't get any pushback.
No, I
Not
don't
from
think
the
you-
customer.
I don't think you will either.
No.
No.
Do you want to make the motion?
I'll make a motion to change the hours for the building inspector and the zoning enforcement officer office hours to 4 to 6 p.m.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Would you entertain, I got another question for you. I can ask you this. We go on winter hours at the end of December, always have in that department, where we come in the first and third Tuesday of the month. Because it's winter, people slow down. Would you entertain moving that to the end of November? Nick asked me to do that, to ask the board.
Can you ask the question again?
Yes, could we move our winter hours to the end of November instead of the end of December?
So start doing them at the end of
Yes,
November.
right. The start of winter hours would become the first week in December.
And when does it switch back the other way?
March.
Which is pretty
We-
much what the drop-off
because
center
spring is
does as
there.
well, correct? Drop-off center does December 1st. They only go down to Saturdays.
I don't know.
And I can't
I don't
remember
know
if
the
it's...
dates.
I remember
Is yours
reading
December
some-
1st? Or you wanted to start it? the
Yeah,
end
we
of
want to
November?
start the winter hours in the beginning of December.
Beginning of
instead
December.
Instead of January.
And
Oh,
do you
I thought you said November.
well, end of
Well,
November.
the end of
you said.
End of November, beginning of December.
Right,
Yeah.
beginning
Been a
of
long day.
December. Well, it has been long.
Yeah. And then it changes back in March, you said?
Yes, I believe that's what it says, March.
And your winter hours are going, right now you're every
Every Tuesday,
Tuesday?
the winter hours go to first and third Tuesday of the
First and
month.
third.
Because it does slow down tremendously.
Oh, sure.
I mean, last year, Nick, all I did was complain about it. And I said, Nick, you know what? You're complaining to the wrong guy. Please go see the Board of Selectmen. I'm not going there. You got all the power. He doesn't get it. In fact, I was prepared to tell him, if you make an appointment with the Selectmen and you discuss this, because I'm not going to get, bamboozled because of that.
I was more bamboozled by the question.
Well, I hope I made it clear.
You did. Like I said, it's been a long day for me.
But right now you do that the end of December.
Yes,
And now you want to do it at the
through-
beginning of December.
correct. Yeah, we want to
Okay.
go to the end of November and start our winter hours.
Yep.
Or in other words, start in the first week in December
Yeah.
and go to March.
I
Okay, so
And
basically
we
through,
post that also.
through February, it would be short, and then March 1st you go back to,
I believe it's
Regular.
March 1st. I'd have to
Yeah,
look on
Yeah,
the.
either March or very first of April, but it's
Yeah.
Right.
snow
Yeah.
here.
It's busy, and I will say this, if people did want to come in for permits, we would take care of that. Including after like the 6 o'clock thing. If there's still people in the hall, I'm going to stay there.
Right. You're
I
not
wouldn't
You're not
just
going to
say,
leave if
this
they
isn't
come
the
back.
Bank of New England, goodbye, and lock the door.
Bank of New England?
Well,
Yeah,
whatever.
I remember that.
I couldn't come up with a name quick enough.
That's a good one, though, Bank of New England.
I don't have any concern if we shift it a bit, so,
Yeah, I don't have a problem.
all right, so I'll make a motion to change the winter hours to be every other week, starting December, I'm gonna put December 1st, whatever that
Yes.
first week is,
Yeah.
and put it through March 1st, so it'll be through the last week of February.
Right.
Through March.
Yeah, through March. I'd have to look at how it's written
Well,
on
I'm saying through March,
posting.
so
but
March
I'm pretty
1st,
sure
so
that's
March,
what it is.
Through the end of
Gary
30.
Simiani came up with
well, I'm
those
saying
hours years
March,
ago.
I'm saying March would be the spring, it might start picking back up for this year, and then maybe we could adjust it again next year, so, but through February, so February, March, December, January, February,
No, the current winter hours go through March now.
Right, through March.
through March, so they
Not
go
the
to
beginning
April
of
1st.
March.
Yeah.
Through
Okay.
March. And April 1st, we come back. April Fool Day, we come back on our regular every Tuesday.
Okay, So I'll amend that to winter hours will be starting December 1st and
Yes.
going through March 31st.
Yes, that's probably perfect.
Round off the weeks.
I'll second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
I'll
See,
email Nick
that
when I
wasn't
get
so
home. I'll
hard.
text him and say, guess what?
I got the power.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I have no power. Even with the state, I have no power. They don't stand behind their inspectors.
They don't?
No.
Well, it's unfortunate.
No. If we have a problem, we'll call our district inspector, and then you get the runaround. He calls his boss, and then the boss calls me and says, Jeff, you know what? Take care of your own problems out there. Well, that's why we need help from you.
That's right. You need
But they don't.
Yeah.
It's been like
It's
that.
changed so much. You know, Boston is not the same Boston it used to be.
40 years ago, I worked for an inspector's office, and it was the same thing then. The state called, and they wouldn't back up the inspectors.
No. Do you know more inspectors than me? No. It sounded like you were talking about
Oh,
that
no.
for a second.
Well, I used to work for a building inspector, a building department,
Oh, you did?
and they would call the state inspector in when he had an argument with
Yeah.
a person, and the state would not back him up.
The big people won't back you up. The local district inspector will, to a point.
Yeah.
But he has a boss too, and then they get
Sure.
involved.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And believe me, the people in Boston do not want to get involved with any small town politics.
No.
We've been through that route one too many times. Then you end up in court. That's no fun. I hate court.
Yep.
We all hate court.
That we do.
Court is a
That
pain.
don't we, Teresa?
You show up in court without an attorney, and then the judge gets after you. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Good seeing you all.
You too.
I don't even never met you.
It's Cammy.
I don't think so. Catherine, I don't think I've ever met her.
Only when I built my house.
Where'd you build? That might come back.
Maple Street.
Maple Street?
Yep, right by the common.
Oh, in the back?
Yeah.
You the one that your husband put his solar on the house by himself?
No.
No, I'm sorry.
Nope, not me. Not me.
There's been a few houses
That's
built
not a
behind
good
the common
idea.
over there on Maple Street.
Yep. No, there's only 3 houses on the whole street. I'm the only new one.
So,
That was about 4 years ago.
so it's not the new. Your husband's not the guy to put the solar by
No.
himself on.
Do you have
the house.
solar on your house?
No, I do not.
Okay, then I'm wrong. I don't
Wrong house.
remember your house. I thought I'd remember. I got too many things I try to remember,
No, I understand.
and I'd run out of memory.
You're not alone.
Like your computer.
I'm 72 years old. You know, what do you want?
Doing good.
All right, have a
Thank
good
you.
night, everybody.
You too.
Thank you.
All right, next item on our agenda is the resignation from Capital Advisory Committee member Pamela Griffin. We received a resignation notice from Pam that she will no longer be able to commit to time. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
she's a great asset too.
Yes, she is. I sadly accept that.
What happens if we say no?
I know.
Sorry, Pam, we didn't accept your resignation. Get back here. All right.
Okay, I'll make a motion and regrettably to accept it.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The next item is process for executive session minutes.
Yeah. So what I'd like to do is, since I've been here, there's been a few executive sessions, and you've reviewed the minutes, accepted the minutes, and executive session minutes should be reviewed, every 4 to 6 months or so to determine whether or not to release them.
Right.
And a vote taken to do so. Because the only time that you would not disclose those minutes would be if there were pending legal matters or propriety information, that type of thing. So what I would like to do would be to, go back a bit and maybe start the update process for the board to be able to review the minutes and vote whether or not to release.
Yeah.
And do that. That way we get into compliance with the public records law.
Yep.
And will get us caught up, and then, do that quarterly or so. All right, so it may be, we'll take a look, and it may be a matter of, maybe doing 2 sets at a time or something like that until we're up to date.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
And maybe we could have it, they're executive now, available that we could read them ahead of time rather than be at the meeting reading them.
Oh, gosh.
To try to determine whether to release them or not.
Yeah.
And I know you can't really send them because they're executive, so we need to work that out of how could we take a look at them and read them before the meeting to make that decision.
Yeah.
We just need to work that piece out.
Yeah. You guys could,
I
we
could stop in and read them,
and you could stop in and read them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Treasury warrants and votes. No, treasury warrants.
Make a motion to approve the fiscal 26 accounts payable warrants number 9 and fiscal 26 payroll warrant number 9 as presented.
I'll second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, the TA report.
All right, we're probably going to be brief. But I did go to the, last week I had attended the Capital Planning Committee meeting. I had requested the most current assets schedule from the auditors, and so I was able to provide them with that, and the fleet schedule from the insurance company. I also distributed that fleet schedule to all the departments that have the fleets to update and make sure that, what's listed is assigned to them. And then what they've been doing is the departments have been getting back to me. I think I only have one more department to go. It'll be fully updated, and then I can send that over to the insurance company and have any vehicles that are no longer in service removed from our insurance policies.
Perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I will provide that updated list to capital planning. So it was great, the meeting. David had provided an overview of capital planning that the Division of Local Services provides. And he is currently working on the spreadsheet that will go out. What they've decided is that, I guess, when the departments receive the forms to fill out for their requests, it's an Excel spreadsheet, and it has the forms for all the other departments. So we're going to make those singular and send those out. So there's a little more work that needs to be done before we actually send those out to the departments. So that's how that went. The digital equity, we have a conference call tomorrow with the senior center director, the library director, and CMRPC. And we'll be having our kickoff meeting. So that'll be a great meeting. So we'll be able to identify who's going to do what and start with that process. Get that rolling. We did talk about the town hall restoration project that has turned into a much bigger project. We do have an additional $21,000. I had let the board know at the last meeting that Donna put forward an account that's been sitting there unused for a bit, and she needs to close it out this fiscal year, and it's for the town hall water damage. So that's perfect. It'll help.
Yeah, perfect.
Luis is looking into whether or not asphalt shingles would be acceptable as far as the historical goes, because that would make a big difference in the cost for
Rather than
roofing.
a slate roof.
Yeah, and
Huge difference in the cost.
the contractor had stated that they've come a long way with the asphalt, and that they actually have one that looks very much like it's slate,
Oh, nice.
and it holds up very well, but much cheaper than the slate. So, Leland project, we have a Zoom meeting on the 5th of November with the water commissioners, the engineers, and the treasurer collector. The engineers want to discuss the process and timing for putting out a bid, what that process will look like, and of course we'd need to look at the funding and figure all that out, what that's going to look like. In the meantime, we have not heard back from SRF, but we should have that information pretty soon. So that, of course, that'll all come into play, and town will weigh out which way to go with that.
Would we be going out to bid before we go to town meeting to get the approval for?
Well, that's part of the process that we've got to iron out, and what the requirements would be per USDA or per SRF.
Right.
So Jillian's going to be instrumental in that as well, because she works with, is it going to be, like bond counsel and Unibank, and kind of figure out what's going to be required, and that'll lay out the timing for everything.
Yeah.
So at this point, I can't answer any of that, but the elementary school project, I did speak with the superintendent. MSBA is scheduled to vote tomorrow. I saw that they have scheduled their meeting for 10 a.m. tomorrow, and where they'll be covering all the projects and voting on those. Following that vote, there'll be a packet that's issued to, each school, and that Steve had said within that packet that'll have the numbers and what our obligation, what the town's obligation would be.
And that will be another thing that we would have to, once that school committee votes to move forward with that, we'd have to have a town meeting, either authorize the debt or say no to the project.
Right. And so,
Is it a project we can say no to?
well,
Town meeting can.
a town meeting can.
It's the only thing that can stop
probably
it.
put that forward.
Yeah.
Because there's a definite need for this work.
Right. What I'm saying is there's a time frame with MSBA
There
that
is.
they have to act, and then they have so long where the school committee votes, and then we have so long to have a town meeting. Hate to have another town meeting for that one article.
I know. I wondered though if it would. We'll have to look at that timing,
Right.
and if that would, if special or annual,
Right.
if that falls in line with their deadline.
Right. And they may have, after tomorrow, they may know, they've maybe
And
been
that
talking.
information would be provided in the packet.
Yes.
Yeah. So I asked him how long he would expect to, how long does that take? He expects that it would be issued to them within a couple of weeks.
The packet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And if not, they could answer the question of
Okay.
the timeline to the superintendent of what's the timeline for the school committee vote has to be within so many days of the board's vote tomorrow at MSBA.
Yeah.
The school committee has to vote, yes, we'll go forward, and now we're going to ask the town for money, and the town would have so much time.
Okay.
And what those timelines are, I can't remember, to be honest.
Right. Okay. I also, while I was on the phone with Mr. Duff, they've been coming to the advisory committee meetings, staying abreast as to where we're at, and providing information as far as where they're at and all of that. So I sent I forwarded to Steve and the financial director, Nicole, the email that went out to the departments announcing that there'd be a budget preparation, planning meeting coming up November 3rd and that. So I sent it to them as an FYI, but he indicated that they would be very much interested in attending. So they'll probably, at least somebody from the school would be coming.
Well, I think it's good that they hear the same thing that all the other town departments,
Absolutely.
because we're in it together.
Well, that's it. And so, we can feel good about that.
Yep.
Okay. The personnel work team will be resuming our work on the benchmarking. We have scheduled for November 4th at 11 o'clock. We did have the charter contract renewal a negotiating meeting scheduled for tomorrow. Thursday. I believe it was for Thursday. But charter is unable to make it, so it's being rescheduled. But our attorney did do the draft for the section pertaining to the financials that we wanted to really focus on first. So it's moving along. And I think at this point I have been dealing with the legal matters. So I will get y'all caught up there. And that is about it, but I did have a question I wanted some clarification on. So at the last meeting, the board is requesting departments to provide a written report or come in person to provide updates, whether, updates, any news, events, any issues, concerns, that type of thing. And I don't know that we made a definite landing. I know I've got notes. I need to prepare a memo. But I think there was also discussion about, well, maybe not monthly, maybe it's a quarterly report. So I just want clarification on what the board would like from the departments. Would you want a quarterly, or are you looking for monthly?
I wasn't here for that discussion, so I really don't have any input until.
I think we were just trying to get some information from each one of the departments, what's been going on, either issues that they're having, successes that they've had. Mm-hmm. And that's what we were trying to.
I think you also mentioned having them come to the select board meeting. So if they're recorded.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
giving those reports either.
And that's where I think
frequently, but I do remember that as part of it.
We sort of didn't land on that one because every department head, I don't want to come here every month.
No, that would take too much of our time.
Both.
And a lot of their time.
And I'm trying to respect their time as well.
Yeah.
Whether they could just.
But a lot of this isn't that why we have a town administrator? Is to have those team meetings with the department heads, and then she can advise us of what's going on or any issues that are happening.
She can. Brad had made the suggestion, and I agreed with him to have them be able to give us those reports monthly or quarterly of, especially with budget coming up, of what's going on in their department, so we know. Only because it's from their point of view. Just like budgets, they're putting in their department request, and then the town administrator puts in that request. Sometimes it differs to some degree. So Brad was thinking that it would be good information and also make it available here on the cable TV, so that way everybody in town would know police department's having this going on, the library's having that going on. And I was looking at it not to make them come here every meeting. That was not my intention. It's more get some information, what's going on in each one of the departments. We can make sure the town people know about it. Mm-hmm. Was my intention as well, and Brett was thinking the same thing. Okay. I was trying to do it. I will say a report, one pager. What's been going on?
Yeah. Yep.
Trying to
So
make it simple.
quarterly, is that what I'm hearing?
I would think quarterly.
Okay.
You know, unless there's something that's
Well,
More
for something
timely
of an
than-
urgent nature, I think anyone
Yeah.
can come to the meeting.
absolutely. If there's some big thing that's going on that they want us all to know, to send it over.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's all I had for you.
Any other comments, concerns?
Jeff is getting a computer. He will be getting one, hopefully.
Okay.
So there's a laptop because he doesn't. Nick has one at his station, but he's always just doing his forms, returns. He fills them out, he prints. So we're trying to make it work for him, but we
Okay.
got to clean up a computer there.
What happened with the dog attacks lately? Is it this the same dog?
It's the same dog. So we were going to have a hearing on the 25th of November. It will be the 10th of November. Leah's asked it to be pulled up because she's concerned.
What has Leah done, if anything?
She has spoken to the owner of the dog who has done the attacking,
Okay.
and that's why she would like it to be addressed earlier. She's concerned.
And the owner is not cooperative, I take it?
Not as much as she would like her to be,
Okay.
like them to be, I should say.
Oh,
But we, I want to make sure that I get the other people. The first attack was in February. Leah came. It was supposed to be a previous ACO attending. So if I can contact perhaps those owners and see if they want to come as well. So hopefully we can address this and
yeah,
get something going.
yeah,
Because it's 2 in 2 weeks.
yeah, not a good
Yeah.
thing.
No, and I was thinking that November 25th was a ways up. That's why I was questioning if the date
just
was correct.
we had that 1 hour really,
Yeah.
for the other one. But planning board is using a different room so that we can have the dog hearing
Okay.
Okay.
continue on the 10th.
Okay.
All right. Anything else? Our next, we have a joint meeting with advisory on November 3rd at 6 o'clock. And then our next regular meeting is November 10th at 6 p.m., which is a Monday evening.
I know advisory usually meets at 6:15. I didn't know if they're going to be able to
I
come a
did
little bit
talk
earlier.
with them about that, and they're like, no, 6 o'clock is fine.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned.